Hello, everybody. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. And I'm going to show you something pretty fun we've been doing on Minecraft Education Edition. So I call it geocaching. And I'm having my students choose 9 of the following places well, they've already completed it. So had them choose 9 of the following places, and we went over places around town. Okay, we got the school, and these were from my TPRS, so it says to the school, right? To the discotheque, and that made it much easier for me because I could just grab the cards from my TPRS, and then I added some extra stuff that they might need to know. Couple more places that they might want to make, and I told them I had already made La Station de Metro and La Gare, and then I gave them a printout with some grid paper, and I told them to keep the buildings as much to 5 by 5 as possible, but of course they didn't really do that. They made these really extravagant buildings. They're really gorgeous. But I was assuming I could get 9 5 by 5 buildings and 3 blocks of street in between them, and I wouldn't have to like go too crazy making this little city. Okay. And I decided to do it on super flat world, make it just easy. The students had to name the buildings and label the streets. So that was really good. They had to make signs and label the streets. And then I told them to secretly choose 5 out of the 9 places. And they also had to put signs at the train station giving directions to those 5 places. Okay, they have to say, go straight, go right, whatever. But they couldn't say, go to the bank. Okay, and then in those 5 places that they had chosen, they would get a crimson sign, because a crimson sign looks different than the other signs, and some white bone meal, or there's now the glow ink you can do, which is also fine. But that would make the letter stand out, so it's pretty obvious that that's your secret letter. On each of the 5 signs, write 1 letter. Okay, so for example, here, I've decorated these signs, and if it's a scrambled word, okay? And so I gave them a bunch of 5-letter words that have to do with moving around a city. There's let's go, there's close to, there's salon, there's metro, by foot, by bike, etc., etc. Close, the post office, street, the stoplight, you know, anything that had 5 letters, and it didn't matter that these are all different kinds of things, okay? But the accents do matter, and that was a little difficult with Minecraft Education because I forgot that when you switch to, well, first of all, when you're trying to place a sign and you're like, oh, dang it, I forgot to put on the French keyboard, suddenly your sign is there and you have to destroy the sign as you put on your French keyboard. But then I'm using an expensive Xbox controller that I bought with PTSA money just to make my life easier. My students are using the computer keyboards, and once they switched to the French keyboard, they forgot to switch back, and they're like, why can't I place stuff suddenly? Why can't I mine suddenly? It's like, oh, okay, you got to turn into French to make your sign, and then turn back to mine. Okay, and when I do this with my Spanish students, it'll be the same problem. Japanese students won't have this problem. But anyway, keep that in mind. And then I gave them a paper so they could make their rough plan on, and also so that I could kind of track their thinking and everything. And they could write their secret word on it. They wouldn't forget anything. So I learned a few years ago, I stopped putting nom because I still had students misspelling appel. And this way, when I write je m'appelle, then they're seeing it every single time I give them a paper, and they're not misspelling it. So that's good. So I wrote the name here. They write down whatever lot number, and you know, I've got index cards with the numbers 1 through 32 on them, so I could just have the students grab them when we do something like this, and that's their random number. And then write down the 9 buildings that they chose, and I went through the TPRS cards very slowly. You know, okay, make sure you choose from here and write it down. And then I had them describe 5 buildings that they were going to make. They could do this after they made the buildings and then describe, oh, it's big, it's pink, it has flowers in it, you know, whatever they wanted. And then I had them write down the directions from the train station to 5 of those buildings. So you can see a little of my grid paper here that I gave them. Haha, it's actually Japanese grid paper. I just photocopied it onto that. So I had intended this to take 2 days. This took 5 days because the students were having so much fun, and really it's the end of the year, and it turned into a really, really good end of year project. They were having fun. I did have some difficulty keeping them in French, and I explained this in one of the videos, but I was kind of distracted. So I'll explain it again. What I finally did was I set a timer, and I said talk for 5 minutes in French, and then I'll let you talk 5 minutes in English, 5 minutes in French, 5 minutes in English. And they could do that. They could do that. But, you know, I had made a real error in judgment. And one of my errors in judgment was, you know, they were ready on the city. They knew all the city words. They knew the word for street. They knew the word for post office. They knew the word for hospital. But I didn't teach them the Minecraft words because I just thought, you know, we already play games with cubes. They know un cube. But I think because of the cognitive demand of I'm placing a block in Minecraft, they just kept going to English for that. So what I should do in the future is set them up for success better. We should practice more with the Minecraft words. I'll make a crossword puzzle. I'll make a blue kit. I'll do the little daily quiz trades that I do normally when we're doing something big, like we're getting ready to play store, or we're getting ready to make crepes or tortillas or cook something in Japanese. You know, normally when we have a big project, I build them up to it so that they can be successful. And for some reason, I just forgot, oh, Minecraft isn't just the medium that we're using to paint with. I really should give them those words. So I regret that. So that's my caveat. And I'll link my blue kit name. And if I make a Quizlet, I'll link the Quizlet name in this video. Okay. The next day, well, this turned out to be 3 days later because the kids really went to town. Ha ha ha. We linguists love puns. Kids really went to town with this. So the next day, I had them draw cards again, and they went to a random city. Actually, because my classes at this point of the year are pretty small because for some bizarre reason, we let the seniors leave a week before all the other students. And so I'm down by 10 students in each class. So I just said, find some other lot and go to. Describe the town. Describe 3 of the buildings. And then write down the 5 letters and then unscramble them. And then they really loved this. So you're in Minecraft and you've got all these crazy costumes you can dress up as, the skin, okay? And I had them write a really quick travel review. And so, you know, one was dressed up as the astronaut, so she talked about visiting the planet. And, you know, another was Mario-like thing, you know, because of course it's not Mario. But, yeah, that part was really fun, and they had a really good time writing those things. So that was good creative writing. Here's some more lessons learned. Okay, better setup of the vocabulary in Minecraft. I talked about that. Students know their colors, but they need to describe the blocks. So obviously I have to teach them the difference between a dirt block and, I don't know, a diamond block or whatever. So those are things I needed to set them up with better. Here's some verbs they needed to know. They know the verbs. They just suddenly, the cognitive demand, they forgot that they could use mettre. You know, they just, I don't know, it just flew out of their heads. Let me just show you how successful this was. Students kept begging me to open the world after hours. So this was at 8:18 p.m. I still had 5 students playing on the world and making their town. So that was very impressive. I'm going to upload the empty world onto Minecraft Education Edition. Search for world language geocaching. That's what I'm going to name it. If you don't teach French, right now it's in French. I'll make another one for my Spanish class. I'll make another one for my Japanese class. But you're going to have to break the signs if you teach Italian, if you teach Latin, whatever. I'll try to upload 3 different versions in each language. So I'll write like world language geocaching, and then I'll write French, world language geocaching, Spanish, world language geocaching, Japanese. Okay, but anybody else, I'm sorry, I don't speak those languages. If you do German, break the signs, put your own down. I made signs here. You can see in this picture, signs. Nowadays, I've moved to Slate because Slate, I found I can edit whenever the heck I feel like. So in later later renditions, I'll have slate here, okay? So it'll be easy for you to change. And heck, maybe you just want to use this world for something else, and that's fine too. It'll be there on Minecraft Education Edition, because why should we reinvent the wheel all the time? I mean, there is just so much stuff we have to do. And now I'm going to show you just some walkthroughs of the world. So here's the world I've built, and you're free to use this one, or you could make your own. But basically what I did was I just plotted out, okay, if everyone makes a 5x5 structure and then has a road that's 3x3, because I thought maybe they want to put a dotted line in the middle of the road or whatever. And I don't want it to be too sprawling. I decided to make it 3 wide, and that way I could run train tracks, minecart tracks, along so that somebody could just jump on the minecart and go visit their friends. I made the numbers out of ice so that the students would immediately know, oh, I can break this. They don't have to keep their number, and yet I still had some students trying to keep the number. I'm like, no, go break it. And then I had a little space left over, and I kind of wanted to get the kids in the mood, so I made this nice little town hall right here. And one of the main things I discovered is that sometimes Minecraft for Education is a little glitchy, and the students suddenly couldn't open up their inventories, and the only way to fix that was for me to totally close everything down and reboot and let them back in. And so now, for all my worlds, I put an emergency chest that's just filled with building materials, so that even if that happens, the students can keep building for a little while. And I was rebooting between each class, my own computer, so hopefully this cuts down on that kind of stuff. But anyway, so this is all set up. 6, I put a little line under so you can tell the difference between 6 and 9. But I put them in order, having learned my lesson from Emily's World, which I like a lot, but it was hard for the students to find where they were supposed to go. So anyway, hope you have fun with this, and I'm going to show you an example of when it's mostly filled in now. So here we are in one of the completed cities. The seniors had already left. We let our seniors leave a week early for some reason. And so even though I had made 31 lots, we didn't have 31 students in the class anymore. So you can see there's still some lots with the ice numbers on them. But for the other lots, the students removed the ice numbers, and wow, they really went to town, if I dare say so. I mean, look at how beautiful. They really, really loved this activity. They were 100% engaged. Could I keep them 100% in French? No, I could not. And so going forward, I'm going to be setting up more for success. Oh, they think the word "d's nuts" is funny. So "d's neuf" in French. So if that's the way they remember 19, I'm fine with it. Okay, I'm absolutely fine with it. At any rate, setting them up for success. So I need to not only talk about buildings, which they knew how to say all the buildings and everything, they just didn't know any of the Minecraft words, or they didn't know that they could apply words that they already knew to Minecraft. So they didn't know that they could say, use the word mettre to put on, to put in for I'm placing a block. They didn't know that un cube could be a block. And so I'm going to be doing much more of that with them. I will, I don't know, make Quizlets and Blue Kits and crossword puzzles and quiz trades and all the stuff I normally do to set them up when we have a big project that we're working towards. And I feel a little foolish for not realizing that I was going to have to do that this time, but you know, live and learn. This was the first time doing this, and I knew there'd be some learning curve. So anyway, you're going to have this city all blank with all the numbers in it. And you can do whatever the heck you want with it. If you want to do this assignment, that's fine. If you want to use it for something else, let me just show you. I don't know, I'm right here. So let's show you just an example of what the students had to do from the train station. And the train station is all labeled, welcome to lot number 17, welcome to lot number 10. Okay, so for lot number 17, they had to write some signs giving directions. Look how beautiful they did. I mean, oh, they have a little fire coming out of there. It was just great. So, oh, this one here, I thought this was clever. Marche tout droit. So one of the signs is hidden in the water. Right here, you can just kind of make it out, and it's the letter A. And this student had chosen a 5-letter word that I gave them to choose from. And so there's little signs throughout the whole little village. So somebody would have to come and explore and follow the signs to find which buildings. And some of them, you know, they didn't follow the signs. They just started running through all the buildings because they looked really cool until they found the signs. And that was completely fine, because all I really care is, did you label your buildings? Did you write the signs showing the directions? Did you hide scrambled words and the letters for scrambled words? And then the people on day 2, could you find the letters and unscramble the word, which has to do with going around town? And then, of course, answering all the questions that I have on the 2 worksheets, which I will link in the description. Okay?